Hello, welcome back everybody. I released my kit Rust and Rivets this week, which is a kit full of oversized fussy cuts, and I decided to make a few really short videos showing you how I'm using the kit, see if it gives you any ideas. So today I'm just going to make a little booklet, and then in future videos I can use the fussy cuts to decorate it and make ephemera for it. So for today I am going to be needing a piece of card for the cover, so this is just a piece of craft card or something similar. I've got a few pieces of tea-dyed paper, but you can use anything you want. This is just to give some contrast in the book, in the signature. Anything you want, that's my preferred piece. And then you're going to need 3 or 4 of the double-paged prints from my kit, so just choose your favourite ones. And I have actually printed something very neutral on the back, again just to give some contrast in my signature. So we're going to need an awl or something sharp and pokey. We're going to need some string or cotton or thread. I'm using some wax thread and a needle. Probably some clips to hold it together while we thread it. When I print my sheets off, they have an edge, just show you this one, a border, so I have to cut that off. So either I'll be using scissors or a little paper trimmer to get rid of those. Probably need a bone folder just to press down the creases, and might need a ruler, not sure, but it's there just in case. So without further ado, I will show you how I'm going to make my book. Right, so I've chosen the papers that I want to use. So I've got 4 of the double-sided prints. I've used the Quirky Pipes and Repairs one in full colour for the centre pages. As mentioned, I've printed on the back something neutral just to give them some colour. I've used the Manshed one in faded. I've put a piece of coffee-dyed paper or tea-dyed paper in. I've used the Carpenter and Grimes Greasy Tools one in faded, and another piece of coffee-dyed paper, and I've used the full colour Fix It and Scarper and Grimshaw's Auto Repair for the first cover. So the way that it'll look, it'll all fold like this, so I'm going to be seeing this. There you go, that's what I'm going to see. I'm quite happy with that. So I shall get on with folding those in a second, but just to know, I also, for the cover, I'm going to need something on the front, possibly something on the back. So at the moment I've just chosen this print, and I'm going to use this on the front. So I'm going to cut it in half and use that as my cover, so I'll do that later. So I'll just move those out of the way for now while I make the signature. So all I need to do first of all is to just fold these in half. So I've already done this one badly. I haven't. If you want to, you can use a scoring board to do this, but I'm not really. I want it to be relatively accurate, but I'm not too bothered if it's not perfect. There we go. So that's my signature. So I'm just going to make sure that they're all approximately the right size. So some of these tea-dyed papers, because I've cut the border off the edge of this, These are a little bit big, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tap it all down. I'm just going to use my Fit and guillotine to go down the edge. Let's just get it straight. And these edges, I'm happy with these being quite rough. So the next thing I'm going to do, something I forgot to tell you need, is possibly, if you want to ink the edges, you need a dauber and some ink. So I'm just going to go through these, just because they've got a rough edge where I've trimmed the border off, and I'm going to go around all of these edges on each page, and I'm going to ink them. And especially these tea-dyed ones, because these, once you ink them, it just really shows the dye on them. It looks really nice. So I'm going to pause you while I just do that. There we go. So that's all inked up now. Again, don't worry about it if it's not perfect. This is supposed to be a grungy, grimy book. It's going to have torn pages. It's going to have bits of ink that are all over the place. And in fact, on some of these, I'm even going to put deliberate thumbprints, just so that it looks like somebody's got grease on their hands while they're handling it. So really, don't worry about it if it's not perfect. Not supposed to be. So I now have my signature, which is the bunch of papers that go inside. And I now need to make the outside cover. So I'm just going to get my piece of card. And because I've cut the edges off these, the borders off, and it's an A4, and this is A4, that means that this is just very slightly bigger, which is perfect. So I'm going to fold that in half. I'll just use my bone folder to crease it. Like that. So now is the bit where we sew it all together. So I'm just going to have a final flick through, make sure that I'm happy with where the pages are, that I've put them all back together in the right place when I've been inking them. I've got a good contrast of light and dark and all the different neutrals. Yep, I'm really happy with that. So, make sure this is straight. It needs to go in the middle. There we go. And now what we're going to do is find the middle. Where are you? There you are. And I'm going to put some clips on to hold it all in place. There we go. Right, if you've done this before 100 times, then please feel free to fast forward. You don't need to watch it. But for those who've never done it before, I'm going to show you how to do a 3-hole binding. So you need your awl, and you need some kind of string or something to tie it together. As I mentioned, I'm using waxed thread, but even embroidery thread or anything like that will do just as well. Bits of wool, as long as it's quite strong. So you need to measure it out at 3 times the size of your book, the height of your book. So 1, 2, 3. Now that's generous. You'll probably end up cutting some of that off, but it means that you're not going to get partway through this and then realise you've not got enough. Okay, so 3-hole binding. So first of all, I'm going to find the middle. Now I'm just doing this by eye. It really doesn't have to be perfect. And what I need to do is to put a hole in from there that comes out on the spine of the cover. So I'm going to fold it up so that as my awl goes in, it goes through the cover and I can see where it comes out. There we go. So there we go, it's come through. And then I want 2 more holes, one each side. So I'm going to do one. How far is that? What, about 2.5 centimetres, which is 1 inch approximately from the top. The clips come off. Stay there, clip. And then same again at the bottom, about 1 inch. There we go. Right, we're ready to sew. Well, you get your needle. You need to decide if you want the bow that you tie it with to be on the outside or the inside of your book. And wherever you want it, that's where you start. So I'm going to have mine on the outside. So you just go fit through the middle hole and pull it through. And then just clip the end of this onto one of your clips, just so that it doesn't pull through. Out through the top hole, which hopefully hasn't moved because we've got the clips on. There we go. Then back through the bottom hole. There we go. And then the tricky bit is I need to go back through that middle hole but without stabbing the string that's already there. Because if you go through it, you're not going to be able to tighten it up. So I'm going through, but I'm pushing it to this side to try and make sure that I've not caught it. So I'm going to let that go now. Put that through. Right. Okay, so I can take all my clips off, which were coming off on their own anyway. Take my needle off. And I just need to tighten it up now. So I just need to make sure that those are tight. I need to make sure that these strings that are coming out of the back, I've got one either side of this long string so that I can tie a knot and hold it all in place. And I'm going to pull, just double check that everything's tight. And I'm going to tie a knot that way, then, oops, a knot that way. Make a little bow. There we go. Now you can make that a double knot, you can put danglers on it, do whatever you want to do. For now, I'm just going to leave it as a bow. So that's the book, all sewn together. Okay, right, front cover. So I decided to use this, so I'm just going to cut this down. I'm just going to make sure that I know where it's going to be. So I need to cut my white borders off. And there is a faint line there, but I'm not be able to see that, so I'm just going to mark it. So about there is where I need to put it. Doesn't matter if it's too small, this, because it'll just fit nicely on that page, and you just see a bit of the craft card around it, so I might actually cut it down a bit more once I've done this. Let's have a look. I think that's okay. Cool. So another thing I forgot to tell you need is some glue, possibly some double-sided tape if that's what you use. You can just use glue. So I'm going to use a bit of both. So I'm going to put double-sided tape all the way around the edge. There we go. And a sharp pokey tool, just push that down. Right, before I do anything else, I'm just going to make sure I've got my book the right way up. Okay. Oh, the other thing I need to do is just ink around these edges before I stick it on. Just because it's got a white core, well, it's white paper, so when you cut it you can see the white edge, and I don't want to see that on my book. I want it all to be black. Okay, cool. Right, let's get these off. There we go. And then glue. So I'm going to use a little bit of art glitter glue, which, because I've not tried it out before the camera started rolling, I can guarantee will be blocked up. Let's see. And I'm going to put it actually on top, oh there you go, of the double-sided tape. It just gives me a bit of wiggle room so I can position it properly without it sticking straight away. And then just a little bit. There. Right, last check that it's the right way up. There we go. String out the way, and then I need to hover over the top until we think it's in the right place. There we go. And there is our book. So we've got lots of pages there, some to journal on, some as focal points. We can put some pockets and some tags and things in there, which is what I'll do in the next video. It's got a lovely middle page that just grabbed the attention. Some fingerprints there to make them coily and greasy. There we go. Done. I hope you enjoyed that. And if you make something similar, please share with me. I'd love to see what you make. Thank you. Bye.